Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Industry Activation Podcast, brought to you by
Open Technologies. Technology to the next level.
It Gets Better Every Time, Ryan. You're really making progress on that. My name is Jason Asher, along with Ryan Albrechtson, and May is Franchise Month on the Industry Activation Podcast. We talk about everything having to do with franchises, ERP, all the goodness that goes along with running an ERP in the franchise, and all the craziness that goes along with QSRs and other types of franchises across the world. So, Ryan, before we get into the solution today, could you give us a little bit of color, if you can?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
with the franchise.
as a franchise owner, you're managing multiple locations. And what you have to do is ensure consistency throughout all locations. And that's where really NetSuite comes in. You have centralized management, you have a scalability as your franchise grows. NetSuite can grow with you. You have unified data, and it just really gives you that efficiency boost that you need.
And the other interesting aspect of scaling on NetSuite, if you're a franchise, especially QSR or even different type of retail franchises, there really is a real inherent advantage to the multi-tenanted nature of NetSuite One World, because you're able to take templates, dashboards, customizations that were written for, let's say, the main sub or written for the main requirement, and then you could be able to basically publish those out to the other subsidiaries. So what we learned from that is a Curb Your Enthusiasm lesson, from Larry David, believe it or not, which is constraint brings creativity. And by having that level of constraint within a system and that level of discipline within NetSuite, and being able to publish similar modules and similar customizations out to the different subsidiaries within a multi-tenanted SaaS, it reduces a tremendous amount of risk and enables consistency of reporting, and more importantly, consistency of data.
Right. Yep.
And what we're going to do today when we look at the solution is that we're going to look at the different NetSuite modules that are going to drive the consistency of data and really de-risk NetSuite versus an R365 or even an Acumatica, and those solutions themselves, one R365 being a QSR specific solution. However, ironically, NetSuite still outperforms R365 in a bunch of different areas, and we'll get into those areas today, to really kind of dive deep. So right now, let's go ahead and get into the solution. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All right, Ryan. What does my screen say right now? If you could tell the audience.
Industry activation for franchises.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Always contributing and always do something great for the podcast. So what we're going to do here is let's start. Let's get the stage set and get NetSuite in there and smoothly move this stuff to the back. Okay, so now let's start with the core NetSuite modules that we're going to recommend in for the franchises. Of course, every franchise is going to need financials first, right? Financials first. Having being a source of truth for the chart of accounts, and then being able to have the subsidiaries, inherit the customizations and the module nature of the financial first modules to the rest of the subsidiaries. There's going to need to be a little bit of WD, a little bit of warehouse distribution. There's a lot of different suppliers that go into supporting statewide, geographical as well as national chains, and there could be suppliers from all over the country that are supplying clusters of franchisee locations. So it's going to be very important that we kind of dig into the WD part as we go along with our franchise theme for the month. Inventory management, recipes, bags, cups, purchasing, reordering, CRM, is going to be important too, managing the contacts. Now here's where NetSuite starts to pull away from the competition, especially with franchises. Now, reporting, standard or custom. NetSuite comes with over 200 different standard reports out of the box, compared to the competitors. And being able to customize the reporting, for a situational context for QSR, or even, by restaurant or by geography, it's important to be able to really dig into the details of the reporting. Subsidiaries and reporting. Subsidiaries are going to be the backbone of, being able to split out different details for accounting and other types of workflows, but also, being able to buy a subsidiary, look at your inventory, look at your chart of accounts, look at your fixed assets, and then also look at your analytics. And being that you could bifurcate the business into different subs and then report against it with all these other, out of the box core functionality, it really does de-risk the deployment on NetSuite, and even makes NetSuite even more palatable, even from a budgeting perspective.
Mhm.
And then as we move on, we're gonna have some interesting use cases to talk about here, Ryan. So, the one thing I think that we know very well is the valuable nature of being able to manage documents, being able to have your APAR, your vendor onboarding, employee onboarding, and even an OCR-driven AI that's going to be able to really manage, all invoices, all documents, all the APAR, but also be able to onboard and offboard vendors. And having these workflows natively in the suite, through this industry activation for franchises, really enables franchises to get live on NetSuite quickly, but also enables the franchises to get a lot more control over the workflows, for dealing with their vendors as well as their employees, which is always important with
And can I ask Jason, how did we come up with these five key?
so we've I mean, Ryan, as you know, we've been talking to different franchises,
Hmm.
across the US for the last number of months, kind of getting their feedback on the ERPs that they're using,
Hmm.
whether it was the aforementioned competition or other ERP systems, and really what they're struggling with. Because a lot of what's in these five boxes up here, from document management to the OCR AI, usually these are bolt-ons. Usually these are
Yep.
are third-party plugins that would be added to an existing ERP deployment. But the key factor there is the fact that they're add-ons. It's not a
Right.
native functionality. And
Right.
and what's exciting about our industry activation here is that, with the NetSuite, we can get these natively into the suite and not have the risk of dealing with third-party integrations, at least for this, crucial, you know, um, I would say external user portion of the
Hmm.
ERP. And then as we move on, we have more we have modules that are actually native to OpenText, and these modules are really, the ones that we selected here would be the PO approval process as well as bulk upload. Knowing that, there are a lot of POs going in and out of franchises all the time, and we found out, through our research, as one of the more critical path workflows that needs to be streamlined. And also the idea of doing bulk upload. A lot of times, franchise businesses move very, very quickly. And if there is a hiccup with an integration, or, you have to meet a deadline to run a batch for, submitting to the bank that day, or you have to run a batch for other reasons, being able to bulk upload is really a critical path to maintaining consistent day-to-day operations. And then finally, we have a very nice curated group of partners of OpenText that really add a lot of value to franchises. So whether it's a QSR or, a retail franchise, RF Smart, provides a lot of value in terms of shipping, mobile dimensioning, labeling, and WMS. So when you're dealing with distribution centers that the franchise will be operating, or maybe their partners will be operating, RF Smart is natively integrated into NetSuite, and can manage a lot of those really, data intensive and labor intensive workflows with ease in NetSuite. Another really great partner that we work with is SourceDay for vendor and supplier management. So SourceDay is phenomenal at managing those relationships, and really adding a lot of streamlined efficiencies to how franchises would operate within a NetSuite ERP environment. And finally, Twarna, being able to supply, APAR, portals, document management, and even a CPQ. And what a lot of, I think, franchise owners could benefit from with a CPQ is being able to really customize, how they're, putting together orders for their stores, how they're putting together, welcome packages and like, starter packages for the new franchise owners. And it can really help them, really develop and innovate along the way, and also help franchise owners give feedback in terms of being able to configure, different products and services that they would need, to run their franchise in a more optimal way. And then finally, we have some a third-party technology partners here that plug into NetSuite through the RESTful API set. The first one is MassPay, which is payment and payout orchestration. This could be very crucial to a franchise because MassPay can provide a very significant layer of payment orchestration where that tokenization can glean a lot of really interesting information about the patrons of the franchisees' locations, and then be able to identify through different algorithms loyalty and as well as customers at risk. And on the payout side, franchisees would have the comfort of knowing that on the payout with payout orchestration that there are curated, solution providers and partners within the MassPay platform. And through one API, you're able to have redundancies for check writing, ACH, digital wallet, alternate payment method, credit card processing, et cetera, et cetera. So that franchisee owner goes to bed every night knowing that if one solution goes down, a platform like MassPay would have a bunch of other redundancies, ready to go. Another great partner of ours is Agiline Software. Agiline has a data experience platform that provides data warehouse migration and data augmentation. And with all the data that comes into a franchise on a daily basis, especially from credit card processors, from terminals, from clienteling and MPOS, really being able to store that information correctly and be able to reconcile as well as analyze the information is extremely important. And then finally, last but not least, our newest partner, iPass.com. iPass.com having a native NetSuite integration and OpenTech being able to be, the partner that's behind it. We're able to really provide a very quick, rapid, go-to-market iPass solution that can really be integrated into any platform that the franchise owner would have. So, in a nutshell, that is, industry activation for franchises. As we move forward in the month of May, we're going to be looking at other aspects of these franchise solutions. So if you have any questions or any suggestions on what you would like to see for franchises, please do drop us a line, or even if you want to be a special guest on the podcast, come on and tell us about your franchise. We'd love to hear from you. So, Ryan, I've done a lot of talking, and I think we'd like to come to you with some closing thoughts.
Absolutely. Like I said, I mean, somebody with multiple franchises, like we're dealing with a company right now that has 50 different franchises, and there are 4 different types of franchises, all in the food sector. So being able to centrally bring everything together so they can come to a screen, a dashboard, and look and see what's important to them right there is such a big deal. So it allows them to focus on their business and have good data. That's, I think, the most important thing. So yeah, I'm excited that you guys could join us today and us to share some stories, and looking forward to the next one, Jason.
All right, Ryan. Well, thank you very much for that. And thank you for watching today. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay activated, and we will see you next time on the Industry Activations podcast. On behalf of Ryan Albrecht, I'm Jason Asher. Take care, everyone.
See you guys.